Energy Talk Wednesdays live on Skype. Today on Thursday. My name is Jona Bryndis. I'm a professional energy healer, coach, and trainer. And here we are talking about those subjects that we perceive and experience through, let's say, our deeper or more subtle senses. And this Energy Talk is an opportunity for us to share. So I want to say hello and welcome to all of you here today. I want to make a few comments about current collective energies. There's the energy forecast for August that you can have a look at to get an overview over what these outer weather conditions, these energetic weather conditions are right now. But let's get started with asking you what you experience through your own personal life right now as one of these topics, okay, that move you, that make you contemplate perhaps about meaning and purpose of it all. Yeah, let's start with this deep question. What do you feel coming in from the outside, not as informed necessarily through other people, but just through your own inner perception that you need to look at? What is it that you feel you need to look at right now? What are the themes in your life? Who wants to share? Point, Kemi, and I love how you immediately pinpointed the problem that we're all experiencing when we are getting frustrated, namely that there is something not matching up. And instead of sitting there and trying to figure this out with our minds, it's a lot more efficient if we actually go with this collective energy that is asking us to clear out things, to weed out things. And as we do this one baby step at a time, okay, we are then starting to see more clearly. Frustration always comes from a fog, and that fog is that we don't see where things don't match up. And the more we clear, the more aware it can come to us, where we're maybe doing things that we don't really want to do, or where we've made choices that are not actually reflecting who we are. And that then needs to be corrected. So that's more to it, the second half of the month, where we feel clear enough to actually make these corrections in our personal journeys. Collectively, these same energies also play out, but they show differently in the outer expression. But very cool how you picked up on this. Thank you for sharing.
Nice.
So inner changes can cause outer changes. Outer changes can cause inner changes. And we need to kind of figure out which one is easier for us. Some of us have times where we really sort of feel the need to cave in. Yeah, so full moon times can do that to people, that they really don't want any exposure and don't want to go out. And, you know, these 3 days, like the day before, the day off, and the day after, those are good times to contemplate and to pull in a little bit. But then we need to go back out again. It's this constant pulse between inner expression and outer expression. Yeah, that invigorates our life force. That's the life's pulse in us. And our job is to make sure that we get our body, our heart, our mind, and our spirit to match up. Yeah, more and more as we go through life. Yes, there is a give and take, Sean, that's correct. This is also part of this pulse. Yeah. But when we hear give and take, or better say when our egos hear give and take, we immediately get stressed out because we think when it comes to give, that it means we have to give up or give away. something that I mentioned a few days ago, I think it was the Monday meditation, is when it comes to our inner relationship, yeah, that there is a component of giving to ourselves, giving to the the deeper part of ourselves something, and that's something we're not actually accustomed to in our way of thinking. Yeah, we only see ourselves relating to the outside world, and that we have to give something in order to get something. But that too can be part of our frustration, because there is, again, this inner reflection of this. So there's a relationship that I have with my true self, with the deeper part, the higher vibratory part of myself. And that relationship needs to be nurtured first. So sometimes when we get stuck in these deeper inner processes, it's because we think that the only way to fix this or address this is through the give and take on the outside. And here, another energy tip from me is that next time you get into this deeper or darker place with yourself, yeah, is that you sort of stop the whole thing for a moment. That's the gear shift. You say, stop. I notice that I'm looping in my own thing. I'm marinating in my own stuff here. Yeah, let me stop that for a moment and let me ask myself, yeah, my true self, hey, true self, what can I do for you? What do you need from me right now? Okay, that can help both of us to become more congruent, to work better together. That's often sort of a shocking recommendation for people, because most of us don't have that on our radar. Can you guys follow me here? We're talking about the mirroring of inner and outer. And our ego tends to externalize everything. It tends to see everything that happens to itself, to you, as a consequence of outer dynamics. But we're missing out on a big aspect, namely the inner dynamics. So from a metaphysical point of view, the physical expression of things is merely the reflection of the deeper spiritual process that is happening on the inside. So if we follow this now, just like how we do this in energy awareness and consciousness work, whatever it is that you're experiencing in the outside meaning, everything relating with other people, with money, with the material world, with your job, with your family, yeah? Let's look at all of that as outside. It's a new definition of personal life, yeah? All that is happening outside of you. That's your interaction on the physical level with other people. What do you think if you just follow this statement that I made just right now, that everything that occurs on the outside is an expression of a process that happens on the inside? Most of us look at it the other way around, but let's just, for the sake of energy awareness and consciousness training right now, do this exercise. Who is willing to share? So what is expressed on the outside, and what could this relate to on the inside? Let me give you an example just to warm you up. Okay. So I'm going through like lots of stress right now because the beginning of the school year, and being the principal of a school means that I have to deal with parents, teachers, students, and the location, the classrooms and all of this, right? So it's the, it's the totality of all of it, the physical part as well as, maintaining, a certain spirit, yeah, like what we stand for, etc. I'm going through a lot of stress there. And whether it's, controversies with parents or teachers or contractors, who are still working on, construction, something is expressed in that stress that I am experiencing there. And someone like me is asking following question. Everything feels very resistive right now. Everything, it's like I feel like I'm making one step forward and two steps back. What could this reflect that is going on internally? Anybody, any ideas? Using my example. What is reflected in this outer expression, in this physical expression, with all the controversies with the contractors, the parents, the teachers, not so much the kids, but you know what I mean? I run into resistance everywhere. What do you think is the inner problem that I am having right now that I'm not seeing yet, or that I'm not addressing yet? Anybody a
And
good
I,
guess?
uh, hi guys, hi Yona.
Hi, Sean.
Um, hi. I'm maybe that the external and how it's affecting you in the internal and how you're trying to work through it without mentalizing it, without finding a solution, without like pushing and pulling yourself. I mean, that's what I'm kind of experiencing at the moment. I'm really happy. I'm doing really well, and I'm like, oh, I'm getting scared. Like, what's wrong? Like,
Okay.
no, I'm doing little things each day. So that would be my stab, something along those lines.
So fear, maybe like an unconscious fear of something.
Yeah, and like
Mm-hmm.
almost like not a performance type thing because you're
Yeah.
pretty
Mm-hmm.
strong in who you are. It's more like, damn, another little thing in the ceiling where the water's coming down, another
Yeah, I know.
bucket,
My
you
ego is
know?
resisting it all. It's like,
Yeah, it's like another bucket. Shit, where's the energy going? And instead of like taking stabs in the dark, it's more like, well, how much can I do in now? And you've been saying that for a few weeks, and I've been saying it to myself all the time, and it really works. I don't know, but when you were saying to Kimmy before about it's not about the result, because I'm like, what's the result? Because I'm so excited, I'm so motivated, and I've been going through a lot of stuff. I'm like, no one cares, but I care, and it's like, well, what do I care about now? And it's kind of, I don't know, it's brought back this life force, but like, yeah, I would just say that what are the things that are actually in our control in any given moment, because that really is a hard one sometimes.
so look
And
at
I
you,
think,
Sean. This sounds so beautiful. This was a trick of mine, okay? So a coaching trick that is to get somebody into this external position, yeah, where they look at somebody else and try to feel into the truth of things. Look at your wisdom there. I mean, you basically answered this like a coach would. Yeah.
oh my
Very
God.
observant and very empathetic, because that's really what it is. Yeah, it's my ego's resistance to it, and maybe also, and this is something that I know that many of us sometimes struggle with, the performance aspect of this. It's not going fast enough. It's not going, exactly the way I want it. You know, when somebody makes that comment where they say two steps forward, or one step forward, two steps back, really what they're saying is that they feel that they're not performing in the way that they should. So the should is the problem. Yeah. Given the circumstances, I really have no choice but doing exactly what you suggested. Take it one day at a time and just deal with what is. Yeah. But it is my ego that is rebelling. It is my ego that is resisting. Yeah. I want it to go faster. I want it to be done. I want it to da da da. I'm trying to force it. Yeah. And all of a sudden, I feel resistance everywhere with everybody. Is anybody familiar with this kind of life situation where it's just not going fast enough? And it's just, showing this to you on all levels. Everything is literally mirroring back the very same thing. Does anybody have another example? Yeah, maybe a little different or similar, doesn't matter. What are these things that are being mirrored back to you right now? We already had the clearing aspect, that there's some kind of impulse to clear something out. And what's behind that clearing aspect is a shift of energy. So we need to shift our energy to see something. It's like putting on different glasses. And in order to do that, we need to remove something first. It doesn't have to be like a big sort of sacrificey type of thing. It's just that we need to shift our energy into recognizing something needs to be cleared out. Okay, that's one aspect. Then we had the aspect of resistance, the example that I brought in, impatience. Yeah, not, trying to control the process too much, trying to make it go faster or make it go, sort of more the way I anticipated it. That's another temptation. Yeah, so sometimes things need to be cleared out. Sometimes we need to be a little more patient and stop resisting, stop controlling things too much. Does anybody have an inkling why that is, by the way? Why is it not beneficial trying to control outer expressions too much?
Because it might not be anything close to what's actually really going on.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's because it's happening to me, and I'm like, but not in big ways anymore. It's more like I'm out in the shops and I'm like, oh, Sean, this, and I'm like, no, Sean, that's the old you. Like, that's just, you're just like focused on what you need to do, and it changes. It's like, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. And then I have a great interaction for like 30 seconds and then I'm on my way again. So, yeah.
Yeah, so this is the congruence piece, right? If we follow this rabbit hole, yeah, based on my statement that the outer expressions are the expressions of an internal or spiritual process within ourselves, and we disagree or we do not like the outer expressions, yeah, a slight gear shift can help us to clear the fog. But really where we need to look is the inner processes that are causing that. Now, most of you are familiar with, the concepts of manifestation through, affirmation and positive thinking, right? Which is based on the exact same principle. Manifestation, yeah, which is the physical expression, the outer expression of something, occurs through our attitude, through our goals, and, a few things such as, motivation and dedication and so forth. So the more we, align to these goals that we have, that we want to manifest, the more likely they are going to manifest. The problem is that many of us are not recognizing that the manifestation process is also a reflection process. It's a give and take. It's a two-way street. Manifestation isn't like, you know, throwing your wand around or saying a spell and then all of a sudden something manifests out of nothing. That is not how manifestation works. The manifestation in the physical is the reflection of what goes on the inside. And that's why it's very important for us to look at our attitude toward things. Yeah, like maybe we do want to get rich. Yeah, and it's possible to manifest lots of money, but maybe our attitude toward richness, or the money that comes with it, is still derogatory. Maybe we have some unconscious beliefs in the back of our minds that all rich people are criminals, or corrupt, or things like that. If you have an unconscious belief such as this, many of us older folks were kind of raised with those kind of beliefs. Do you guys know what I mean? Yeah, that rich people, bad people, or they made their money with ripping off other people, or yeah, these kind of deep unconscious beliefs. If this is still sort of swinging with your manifestation goal, making lots of money, then you are constantly running into blocks. Yeah, because your true self doesn't want to feel like a criminal, or like a ripper-offer, or something like that. It's a reason why many energetically sensitives and empaths have a problem with sales. Yeah? Who here has a problem with sales? Like selling something, especially if it has to do with you, and your services. It's because there's something in the attitude, yeah, in the inner process of all of that, that is not matching up. That is not matching up. And our frustrations then show us, yeah, they're like sort of wrenches in your gears. Yeah. They show us, hang on, stop for a moment, okay, and look at what the mismatch is here. Okay. So first we feel the frustration that's on the outside. Yeah, we're frustrated about the outer manifestation of it. Then we need to recognize that this is not getting us anywhere. Yeah. So we need to stop the machine. Then we have to reflect on the inner process. What is in my attitude here? Yeah, that is causing my manifestations to not be aligned. Yeah, what do I need? What does my true self, or my energy, if you will, need? What does it need to correct in order for the manifestations to become more congruent, more aligned? Do you guys understand what I'm talking about? It's that interplay between inner and outer expressions. And that's why when, if you're following the Sacred Self-Healing community, and also all that stands behind it, it's really about this constant, interaction on both levels. Sometimes we have to go out and change something in the physical first, so that we can better reflect on the internal, yeah, the more spiritual aspect of it. And sometimes we have to go into the more spiritual aspect of it in order to change the outer expression. But there is a constant pulse. It's this in-breath, out-breath, yeah, that follows us with all these expressions that we are experiencing throughout our lives. Yeah, and when we get stuck, and when we get seriously stuck, yeah, when we get stuck in questions such as, oh, what's the purpose and the meaning of all of this? Okay, then it's time for us to stop the hamster wheel. Yeah, and to set aside a little bit of time, or maybe even maybe a month or two, to work on this inner connection. Yeah, to become more aware of what it actually is, yeah, that we're aiming at in our life. By the way, this is also where the new soul initiation, the Grace Training Club, comes in. I don't know if you've seen this. I haven't sent out an email yet announcing this. On August 12th, we're starting with a new program that we've never done like this before. It's where we come together as a group and go through the spiritual initiation process through a mixture of energy healing sessions that are live as a group, and then the talk about it, the understanding Yeah, the understanding of something is always the more physical expression, whereas the energy healing session is the inner expression, it's the inner experience, just like how you were used to in the Connect with Your True Self session. Yeah, so this is something that those of you who feel seriously stuck, that you might want to dedicate. It's every Saturday, 3 p.m. Florida time, which is 8 p.m. in the UK, 9 p.m. in Middle Europe. It's very early hours in Western Australia, unfortunately. But, you look at, building a routine, that helps you at least once a week, to go into this pulse actively, to experience something internally and then, to contemplate about it and go into the understanding of it. So this is something that I usually do with people individually, and they can still do this with me individually. But there's an add-on, basically, when you experience this as a group, because every time each and every one of us shares something, like Kemi and Sean, thank you guys for sharing today. We are learning in different ways. We are learning new things. We all have different ways of expressing things, and sometimes, we just need somebody else to say it with different words for us to click. And that's where, my group healing actually resonates higher in consciousness level, than individual healings. Now, individual healings already calibrate very high, but then if you do it as a group, it's even, it speeds up the energy even more so. So working with these collective energies right now, watch the forecast, because there I'm really giving you sort of a preview of what it is that is needed, to navigate these times from an internal perspective. For this week, if that's all you take with from this energy talk, to look at all outer expressions as the reflection of an inner process, and vice versa. Look at your inner processes, be it, your frustration, or, struggling with meaning, or struggling with purpose, or, the ability to manifest something. Try to find the outer expression of that, so that you can better align these two. And remember that it is a constant process. It's not a give and take, as in like transaction. I don't give you something and then I get something back. That's not how this goes. It's a constant interaction. And the more we allow ourselves to actively engage with this, the more we can make the unconscious stuff conscious to us, the better our manifestations become. All right. Wonderful energy talk, guys. Thank you so much. It's a very, very important topic, inner and outer expressions. Okay. Awesome. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.